Well, good day, viewers, and welcome to the Sport Tribe Show. I'm your host, Brian Monango, updating you on the latest sports news. Well, there's a lot of events that took place this past weekend, and we are all very excited and looking forward to how the week will progress with the sports and how things are lined up. Starting off with some rugby action that we did have happening over the weekend. That was our main event where we were streaming the Trustco United and the Rio Falcon match. There was also some controversy that happened in the rugby facility, a coach leaving the match during the first half because he felt threatened. That was the game between FNB Wanderers and FNB Rehoboth that happened down at Rehoboth. And then also the AUC Region 5 Youth Games, the draws did take place, and hopefully you guys are happy with how the teams are set up and who the teams are facing. Well, not to waste any more time, let's get right into the hit list. Well, first up, Namibia took on South Africa in the final of the Junior Africa Hockey Cup tournament that took place here in Windhoek. Namibia's men and women both faced South Africa's men and women in the final, and those games both ended 5-0 in favor of South Africa, and South Africa walked away with the Junior Africa Hockey Cup, that is. Well, we do have some interviews with our captains, Zayli Philander and John Brits, and these are some of the words that they had to share right after the matches on Friday night.
Hi, I'm the captain of the Under 21 ladies. I'm Zayli Philander, and we made it to the finals at the qualifiers, and we were actually so stoked because it was part of our goal to make top 2, and we did it. And we're all so excited to go to Chile in December, and yeah, I think our girls did so great. I am super proud of them as a captain, and yeah, just thank you for everybody that's helped us.
Talk to us about the game that you lost 5-0 to South Africa.
Yeah, so our first half was pretty good. 2-0 down at halftime, and then yeah, I think our fitness was a big part of it. Technically, we had a big part of it. But yeah, SA just came. I take my hats off for that. But from now on, we just grow from there.
Hi, my name is Jacob Brits. I'm the captain of the Under 21 national men's team. This is after the final where we lost 5-0 against South Africa. It was a very good game, 3-0 half-time, played a much better second half. But proud to say we made it to the final after 9 years of not playing and coming last. Now, so massive improvement for Namibian hockey. And then the tournament went well. Our first game we beat Egypt 3-1, and then that set the tone for the tournament. Second game when we played against South Africa, we lost 8-0, and then third game we played against Kenya, beat them 5-3, and then played against them in Zambia and beat them both. We secured our spot in the Junior World Cup before even playing the final, which is awesome news for the Namibian hockey, and even the ladies, they also qualified for the World Cup before the final, which is just amazing. Just shows you how far Namibian hockey has come from 10 years ago.
Well, despite losing to South Africa in the final, both the men and the women are very optimistic and excited as they have qualified for the not for the indoor, but for the Field Hockey World Cup, the Junior World Cup that's scheduled to take place later this year. This is the first time in Namibian hockey history that Namibia has qualified for this prestigious tournament. So that in itself is an historic achievement. So we look past the defeats to South Africa and we focus on qualifying for the World Cup that is. Moving on to our second story for the day. The Bartes Trophy that took part in Zimbabwe, Harare, we finally concluded with the winners being named as Namibia. Namibia defeated Tunisia in the final game 81-7 that led them to being recrowned as the champions of this prestigious tournament, having last won it in 2018. We haven't won it since 2018. That was the last time we won it. And this time around, Ben Berger, who captained the under-20s, led his team to winning back this trophy once again. We did beat Zimbabwe and Kenya. Kenya were the defending champions of this tournament, and now we are crowned the Bartes Trophy winners of 2025. Huge congratulations to the boys for picking up that one. The AUSC Region 5 Youth Games are also in full swing, as the draw did take place in Windhoek yesterday at Movenpick, and the team sports were divided into groups. So if we just have a look at how the draws did come out, the beach volleyball under 19 men group looks like this, with the top 4 teams to go through to the semi-finals. Namibia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Botswana, Zambia and Malawi complete the group there. And then moving on to the next one, we also have the beach volleyball under 19 women, where we also have 2 groups with 2 from each pool who go through to the semis. Namibia are drawn with Zambia, Zimbabwe and Malawi. In the pool B, we can see that the likes of South Africa, Botswana, Angola, Lesotho and Mozambique complete those groups. Just to scan through the rest of the draws, this is the indoor volleyball under 19 men. That's how the group is set up. Top 4 teams go through to the semi-finals. And then moving on to the next, the indoor volleyball under 19 women. Top 2 from each pool go through to the semi-finals, with Namibia being drawn in Pool A with Malawi, Zimbabwe and Lesotho. Moving on to the next one, this one is the netball under 19 women. We have 2 groups once again, Pool A and Pool B, with Namibia being drawn with Zimbabwe and Botswana in Pool B, that is. And I'm sure we also have some football. There's under 20 women. This is how the pools look like, Pool A and B. Pool A sees Namibia, Mozambique, Botswana and Zimbabwe. And then moving on to the boys, to just see how the pools look like is very interesting. We have Namibia are in a pool with Angola, Malawi and Zimbabwe. So those are just some of the draws and how they are set up and how it looks like. We are getting ready for the AUSC Region 5 Youth Games. Some exciting times to be involved in sports right now. So we look forward to seeing how they pan out. I want to know how you guys feel about the groups. So if you can let us know, please share your comments in the comment section below and just let us know what your thoughts are on the group stages. We'll be going for a short break and we'll be back with the weekend drop. Well, viewers, this is something that you guys will definitely have to get used to, especially on Mondays. We'll try and see if we can bring it more during the course of the week, but I am joined by none other than Yuri. How are you doing, brother?
Good and you, Brian?
Very excited. Okay, so if you guys are probably wondering why I have Yuri with me in studio, that's because Yuri is an established rugby referee, and he'll be breaking down. We'll be having a look at some controversy that happens in the games that people talk about on social media. But before we do get into that, just tell us a bit about your reffing experience, the sorts of games you've reffed before, so that people just know that you're not just this come around referee.
Thank you for having me, Brian. Yes, let's just make it clear from the beginning that we're not here to judge any referee or any team or any coach. We're here to take it out to the public and show them what is happens behind the closed doors of a referee and how they work. To answer your question is, I read a few games in my life. I was part of the under 19 varsity World Cup in New Zealand, ref the final there. The Dubai Sevens, Hong Kong Sevens, Cape Town Sevens. Ref Varsity Cup, under 19 Currie Cup, under 20 Currie Cup, under 21 Currie Cup.
I think
Premier League.
I think we leave it at that. I think we all now understand where Yuri is coming from with all this knowledge and all this experience. Basically, what we're doing is we're not judging the refs.
Yeah.
We're really just trying to point out a few things and just have our opinions on those things. And you guys can also definitely jump in and share your thoughts. Without wasting any time, we don't want to waste too much time on the show today as well. 2 incidents that we want you to talk about. The Trasco United game against
Interesting.
FNB Rio Falcon.
Falcon.
That was a very interesting game. There were 2 incidents that caused some controversy there. People want to know about those. And then we also know that down at Rehoboth, a referee abandoned the match because the referee also felt unsafe. He was getting a lot of threats during the course of the match. But you guys have to hang tight. And without wasting any time, should we have a look at the first incident?
Let's go for it.
Okay, well,
let's see
sit
what
tight
happens.
and let's see how those incidents happen, and then we'll be back to break it down just now.
Some decent pace there from Rio Falcon. And here goes a big run from Sari Ungwanga. Rio Falcon maintaining momentum. Dillon Kama.
Goeie loop hier zo deur United.
We're going to have a look at that play yet again. It was United trying to get out of their half. I think that feels like a high tackle to me, Andrew. I mean, he does get a hold of the legs, but the player is already in the air. And I think that's precisely what is going to be assessed at this point.
The second clip.
Okay, I think those are the 3 incidents. The second one for me was most probably the most interesting one because that's Sari Uwanga. Is an old school mate of mine. I know him very well. But yeah, just break it down for us, Yure, in this clip.
Yeah. So as you see on the clip, that definitely foul play happening there.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened afterwards, if the ref went back for a penalty or anything. But that's definitely, if he didn't put out his hands, that would have been a very serious injury. The guy would have fallen his neck. And as we carry on later, you will see that we have the law and things here to explain what the law says. So for me, that I'll go definitely.
Okay, well, I'll read the law, and the law says a player must not lift an opponent off the ground and drop or drive the player so that their head, the head and or upper body make contact with the ground. So that's 9.18. This is from the rules of or the law.
World rugby laws. So this is the if I can say, this is the rugby Bible. You need to follow this.
You need to abide by.
But yes.
Okay, well, we do have a video clip from there that
Yes.
just explains and demonstrates how all this breaks down and what the ref is supposed to do in such an incident.
Simmons there to protect the ball. Adam Ashley Cooper. Nobody scored more tries against the All Blacks down the years. Smith, Mitchell. Still going. Boos, but they're pushing for the line.
Wayne Barnes has come in with a flag for the tip tackle.
Too short, they can't allow the crawling.
Lift of the leg.
We have a foul play flag back here.
Yeah, it's looked dangerous at first sighting, didn't it? Let's listen to this.
We've got 15 black lifting the player but on the horizontal. Okay. Do we need to check, or are we going to adjust the penalty, or are we going to go with it? Let's have a look. You want to have a look, yeah? Yes. Okay. Sean?
Okay, Nigel, I've listened to what you guys said.
The conversation?
Yes.
Just give us a look, then, please.
Okay,
on
it's going to come.
On the tackle by 15 black.
It's Ben Smith. Yeah, I think Wayne Barnes feels that.
Okay, Nigel, there it comes.
This is probably a penalty offence. Look at that. The legs have gone above the horizontal. But he just asked Nigel Owens to have a look.
Watch his hands. He knows he's done it wrong. Watch his hands as he lands.
There's a goal man in on him and stuff as well.
I mean, that's a dangerous tackle.
Watch Ben Smith now, though.
I'm going to go with just a penalty here against 15 black, unless you tell me anything.
One more second.
Show it again, then. You want me to see it again?
Nigel, those are all the angles.
Show it to me again, then, please, Sean. Did you tell me to have a look at it again?
Here we come.
I think the TMO invites the referee to have another look. It's always code for. I think you might be looking at a yellow card here.
Got you.
Thank you.
It remains his decision, however. And for the first time in a Rugby World
It's
Cup
not a
final.
marginal adjustment. You've risen it quite high above the horizontal and he's gone down the shoulder. And that is a yellow card offence, okay? Off you go, please. Thank you.
Well, that was at the World Cup 2015, New Zealand against the Wallabies. And we did see that the ref gave the decision as a penalty and he also gave the yellow card. So I want to hear your thoughts on this one, Yure. So if we have a look at this clip, as a referee, what would your decision have been?
On this clip, definitely he lifted the player through the horizontal on his side. If you compare the two clips of the World Cup and this one, this guy's shoulder height lift, the other guy was barely left. So this is definitely, I would have go a yellow card.
Yellow card.
Yes.
Would the penalty have stood or just a yellow card?
Penalty, yellow card, yes.
Well, there you have it, guys. And before we do wrap up, we know that this weekend as well, referees have been going through the most. At Rehoboth was one of the incidences we had over the weekend. FNB Rehoboth was taking on the FNB Wanderers team that's on top of the league right now. The team was leading 29-0 in the first half, and then the referee decided to walk off the pitch. Can you just give us some insight on how you guys operate? Are you guys allowed to do that?
Yeah, there's a law in the law book, 9.5, that say the ref can stop in any time of the game if he feels unsafe.
Okay.
He can stop the game. But now you must also take where you ref as well. If I can take, for example, where I ref before, when you ref in Argentina or in Chile, the crowd, you literally ref in a cage. And there's flares, it's bottles, it's actually chaos. And you must also just remember that everybody there paid gate fees
to come watch the game.
To come watch the game. So if you become a referee, you need to have a little bit of a thick skin, if I can say it.
You need to have thick skin, yeah.
So take it in, learn from it. I think my biggest thing was learn from the situation.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen again. But if you get verbal abuse, remember there's two abuses to a referee. You get verbal abuse and then you get the normal physical abuse. And verbal abuse sometimes gets into your head and your heart and you make later on tough decisions.
Yeah, you're scared to make decisions in the game because of what people are saying.
So I think that is also a big thing. And if you get threatened, then yes, of course, any ref can stop the game.
Okay.
But also you just need to take in mind as well how to handle it in a good way.
Okay, so before we do look at the clip from Rehoboth this weekend, it's an Afrikaans clip where we just get an explanation of why the ref left the match. The book, the Bible of rugby says you can call the match off.
Yes, you can.
Okay, at least we have that answer, but let's quickly have a look at that clip.
Die game is maar 'n bietjie vroeër afgeblaas as gevolg van die ref wat voel hy word bedreig. Maar die eerste helfte was 'n rowwe helfte geweest. Ons het geweet hulle sal kom vir ons. Ek dink dit was 'n eye-opener vir ons boys geweest. Die voorbereiding was goed geweest. Maar ek dink ons ouens het nie verwag die Wanderers ons kyk ons weet hulle is 'n baie goeie span. Hulle oefen van laas jaar Oktober maand saam met die nasionale squad, so en 90% van die span is in die nasionale squad.
So Brian, you heard it.
Yeah.
The coach said that the ref felt unsafe, and at the end of the day, this is the ref's choice. But there's a good saying in the old days, but I can't say it on live TV. We as referees need also to make a step up. I don't say the ref was wrong. I don't say the public was right. All I say is we need to take in consideration about where you ref as well.
Also, just be wary of your surroundings, know where you are, and just make calls upon that. But guys, like I said, this is just the beginning of all of this. You'll be seeing this phase more and more on the show. And every weekend when we have a game or where there's some controversy and you guys need some answers, we'll definitely be back in studio to just break it down for you guys and get Yure's insight, like I said. So we look forward to seeing you guys once again. Thank you for joining us in studio.
Thanks, Brian.
And we'll see you again next week, same time, same place.
Yep. Thank you.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with soccer news first. Big news from England English Football League, the English Premier League, is that Liverpool, they're the champions of 2024-2025 season, and that's still with 4 games to go, and that was because Liverpool beat Tottenham Hotspur at Anfield. That was a game played on Sunday. They beat them by 5-1, and they won the title, so they're the champions for the 2024-2025 season, and it's their 20th title in the history, and they now draw level with Manchester United that also have won 20 titles in the history. Third position in English Premier League history with the most titles is 13th is Arsenal with 13 English Premier League titles. Liverpool's win against Tottenham Hotspur put them amazing 15 points clear. That is with 4 games to play at the moment. They've got 82 points from 34 games. They cannot be beaten. And then Arsenal, they second on 67 points. So it's a big race now for the top 8 for all the English Premier League clubs for the last 4 games. Top 8 of England English Premier League will get them into European football competitions. Also, another big competition that was played semi-finals over the weekend is the FA Cup, and it was semi-finals that was played at Wembley. First on Saturday, it was Crystal Palace that beat Aston Villa quite convincingly by 3-0, and then on Sunday it was Manchester City that beat Nottingham Forest by 2-0, and they made their 3rd consecutive final in 3 consecutive years. That is Manchester City. The final will be played on the 17th of May, also at the Wembley Stadium. On to rugby news, a Women's Six Nations that was concluded over the weekend. It was a very tense final game in the end. It was England that beat France just by 1 point. They beat them by 43-42. That game was played in England, and it is England that won the Women's Six Nations by beating France, and England now unbeaten in 25 games, and they're definitely one of the favourites when they host the World Cup. That will be in August this year in England. Other results from the weekend in the Women's Six Nations was Italy that beat Wales by 44 points to 12, and then Scotland too strong for Ireland at 26-19 that score. To close with today's international sports news is Madrid Open tennis. That continues, and it is number 1 seed Alexander Zverev. He's safely through. It was the round of 32. He had a tough game. He beat Alejandro Fokina in 3 sets, 2-6, 7-6 and 7-6. And also number 9 seed Daniil Medvedev beat Jan Sierkanadouli. He beat him 6-2 and 6-2 to advance to the next round. And also in the women's side of the Madrid Open, it was a big surprise. It was number 3 seed Jessica Pegula out of the tournament in the round of 32. She lost to Mayuko Ushiyawa. She's from Japan, and the score 6-3 and 6-2. And then also good result for Maria Sakkari. She beat a higher seed player Jasmine Puolini, the number 6 seed, and it is Maria Sakkari of Greece that won that game 6-2 and 6-1. That is in the Madrid Open tennis. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day. We talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.